Hey everyone, and welcome back to the X-Ring. We are here in Dalton, New Hampshire at Ridgeline Training Center, and you guys know that one of my most favorite cans in the world is the SUREFIRE, the RC-2. But I'm not here for the RC-2, we're actually here to take a look at the brand new RC-3 with low back pressure system, so stick around. All right, so I've got Andrew Wright with SUREFIRE. I wouldn't be here without you inviting me, and it's always been a pleasure to attend anything that SUREFIRE does. But can you tell us a little bit more about the differences between the RC2, RC3, maybe exactly when it's going to drop, when people can actually order these, and anything you want to add about the two?
So if you're seeing the video, RC3s are on the streets. The main difference, or actually I guess stepping back, RC2 is a phenomenal suppressor.
It is.
Obviously, you know, the main attributes are we build a bomb-proof suppressor, a super durable suppressor with really good first round flash and subsequent round flash performance.
Yeah.
Good size, overall length is not too much added to the weapon. It's not too heavy. You know, we try and control all these attributes to combine to make it the overall best fighting suppressor available.
Yeah.
We've tried to keep all of those same performance parameters with the RC3 and just reduce the back pressure greatly. So it's brought down by 60%, I'm sure, as you've mentioned, which makes for an overall much better shooting experience. It's much more controllable. Obviously, the firearm's going to stay cleaner. It's going to be less wear and tear on parts and better for your health as well.
So I guess the biggest thing that these guys need to know is, you know, all this push now for low back pressure, and it does have its advantages as far as health, but some of the other advantages you were talking about, wear and tear, you were talking about a bunch of different things that low back pressure systems will do. Can you explain more on that?
Yeah, so, you know, a gas-operated firearm, even a piston-operated firearm, you're still going to have, with a normal suppressor, back pressure pushing gases back down the barrel into the chamber. It's going to cause, you know, more fouling in everything and all the moving parts, as well as the magazines. You know, as you've seen when we're top-loading mags in between drills, with the RC3, mags are staying much cleaner than they traditionally do. So yeah, I mean, with increased back pressure with a normal suppressor, you're definitely going to up your cyclic rate, which is you know, going to cause more wear and tear, especially as guns get hot, they get even faster. Yeah. This is definitely going to reduce that.
Got it. Well, man, I appreciate the invite.
Thank you for coming out.
And thanks for having me out here, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you. All right, so over the last week or so, I was privy to go to an event hosted by SUREFIRE in Dalton, New Hampshire at Ridgeline Training Center. I'd never been out here before. This is an unbelievable facility, and this time of the year with the leaves changing, it is just pretty incredible. Basically, I had a chance to get my hands on, try out, and evaluate the new RC-3 by SUREFIRE, and this is a really, really great suppressor. You guys know that with all the push for health, for lead exposure, and everything else, a lot of different manufacturers for suppressors have been going with a low back pressure system. And this is going to do a couple things for you. Number one, it's going to mitigate a lot of the toxic gases that the shooter is exposed to. So much so that the original RC2, and if you put this in a chamber and you're measuring parts per million, just so you guys know, like an unsuppressed AR, you're going to get about 120 parts per million when they do the testing. Now on the RC2 that doesn't have the low back pressure technology, within that chamber you're going to get about 550 parts per million. On the low back pressure RC3, you're looking at about 200 parts per million. So it's a significant reduction just by having that low back pressure system. Another thing, you know, a question that comes up quite often is, well, if you're letting all of this gas out of the front, how much are you increasing the dB? And the only increase is going to be about 1.5 decibels over the RC2, and that's not going to be something that's going to be detectable by the human ear. So you can check it with sound meters, but you're not going to be able to pick it up as an end user. The other thing is it still uses the exact same mount systems. Anything that's a SOCOM mount from the RC2 or in the SUREFIRE series will work with the RC3. Weight is actually going to be the same. So comparing the two, you're going to have almost the exact same external dimensions. The only difference is going to be a little slight rib here at the top. Now, this is a 100% Inconel suppressor. It is kind of additive manufacturing printed. However, the finish and all of that is the same. The only thing that's not going to be Inconel might be your mount system on the back side, but the design on this is really, really ingenious. We did have a chance to shoot this quite a bit at night as well, and it does have a bigger signature reduction on the RC3 over the RC2. You guys know that in the past I did test the RC2, and for the first couple shots you could actually see like a little pencil beam coming out the end of it. This has reduced that quite significantly. SureFire's put a lot of technology and research into coming up with this RC3. Now, a lot of people are going to want to know about the price. Pricing is going to be $1,800 for the RC3 when it does hit the streets, and I think the RC2s are still going to be somewhere around $1,200 or $1,199, I think the last time I checked. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and shoot it on the range. I will tell you that when this can was issued to me at the beginning of the week, it was like brand new. You can see that it's got a lot of wear and tear on it. I've shot easily over 1,500 rounds of the Mark 262. I've had zero issues, zero malfunctions. We are using the BCM 12.5s. It is an awesome rifle. I've had zero malfunctions or anything, and I know on the first day I actually shot a string of over 500 rounds. So I'm really excited about this suppressor. You guys know this is probably one of the most sold suppressor in the world if you look at all the military contracts and everything else and how many people use these overseas. So we're going to go ahead and take some shot sound range. We'll go ahead and let you kind of hear the differences. We'll try both of them out. See if you can even pick it up. Now, microphones are always going to kind of knock out some of that peak sound, but it is going to be the same. The sound signature on this is going to be somewhere around 139, 140. So it is going to be at that threshold of 1 exposure. So over the course of a day, I'm still going to recommend that you actually run hearing protection. All right, so I know the light's not going to be the best. We do have the RC2. I've got some steels at 100 yards. I also have one at about 220 and then one at 300. I'm just going to do these back to back. I'm not going to shoot this a lot. I don't want to get it hot, so I'm going to switch it over to the RC3. So we'll just go off this cattle gate here. We'll go 100 yards. We are shooting Black Hills 77 grain. Here we go. All right, that's the 100, 2 hits. That's 220. Now we'll go up to 300. Okay, so there it is. There's your comparison with the RC2, making those hits out at 100, roughly 200, and 300. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the can off. I'm going to put it on the same mount really quick because they are hot as all get out when you shoot them. Get the serial number lined up at the top is what you usually do on these. All right, should be good to go. All right, so RC3 low back pressure system. Here we go, 100 yards. Impact. Impact. We'll go to 220. Impact. Impact, we'll go to 300. But we're able to go straight from the RC2 to the RC3 with very minimal shift and impact. So there's a lot to be said about this can. You know, just that's not even one of SureFire's cans. That's actually somebody here and just borrowed it from them because I needed an RC2. So let's go ahead and talk more about this suppressor. All right, so the best way to show this, guys, is I've got a magazine. This is the RC2. What we're gonna do is pay attention to this area here. These are identical BCM rifles. I'm not gonna be shooting it on steel. I'm just gonna shoot it in the dirt, probably 10 rounds or so. Then I'm just gonna pick up the other rifle and we'll see if you can see a difference. If you guys are ready, here we go, going hot. All right, I'm gonna stop there. Let me go ahead and clear this. RC3, same test. Here we go, going hot. I don't know if you guys can see the difference, but there's also a difference in the recoil as well. It is definitely softer with the RC3, so that's another advantage with that low back pressure system. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that review of the SureFire, the RC3. Now, that SureFire is not going to be for everyone. You know, there's going to be a lot of people that will have a hard time justifying an $1,800 price point. But if you're looking for the best of the best and you're looking for that lineage of suppressors that's been proven across the world, I don't think you're going to go wrong with a hard use, you know, proven out suppressor like the RC3. You know, they've done a lot of their testing internally. The amount of research and development they put into the suppressor really makes it a pleasure to shoot. Big differences, a lot of huge advantages over the RC2. The other thing I want to talk about is Ridgeline Training Center. Guys, over the last week, I've experienced a lot of different things here, everything from shooting from moving vehicles to vehicle bailouts, working around vehicles, and it's really cool. It's a great facility. All of their training cadre is former special operations guys, so you really are getting the latest, greatest, and the best of the best that are teaching you. They have a really good training regimen here, and they offer a ton of different courses for you, everything from long range to carbine work, and they do a great job with it. Now, for example, like we were doing bailouts here in this alleyway with all these vehicles, and there were a lot of different things to think about. This was kind of the culmination of everything that happened, and without a suppressor, you're gonna have a hard time hearing verbal commands, you know, because you're not gonna have ear pro on or anything like that if something like that would happen, especially if there's multiple people in the vehicle that are bailing out. So, you know, like I said, you know, what if scenarios, but man, just great training facility. You know, while I was here, I was also able to attend the O'Neill driving school, the rally school.
There it is.
Nice. And man, that was a great experience. You will learn something, I promise. You know, I'd never been around left foot braking in a front wheel drive vehicle that was a manual, and some of the techniques and things that they show you are really beneficial. I mean, it's something that could transfer into driving in the snow and everything else, because not all of us drive rear wheel or all wheel drive vehicles. So if you're not familiar with Ridgeline Training Center, definitely check them out. Also check out the O'Neill Rally School. That's just right down the road, not even 5 minutes, and great facility, great infrastructure here, and I think they're going to be here a while. So you guys have a good one. Take care. We'll see you on the next one.
I've always dirtied everything that I found. This ain't no difference, look at you now. And baby, cut yourself loose. Save all the things that I said that night. Playing it cool, but I never got it right. Baby, cut yourself loose. I was mesmerized by your kick off. Now you know everything that I am. Caught in the pond, no backup plan. Baby, cut yourself, baby, cut yourself loose. Cause a little trouble, don't shed a tear.